Recently, I was thinking back on all the different promises and prophetic words that I've received from the Lord through the years. And there's been a lot of years because I'm now at the later stages of life. And as I look back, I remember the Lord making me promises that actually has still not been fulfilled. Many of His promises have already been fulfilled a long time ago. Most of the prophetic words that I get come to pass just the way He showed me. But what about those promises that have not yet been fulfilled? When I asked the Lord about it, He said to me, I never break my promises. Now, we're so used to people making promises and not keeping them that, quite honestly, sometimes we do the Lord the same way. We think that God is not going to keep His promises, or He might change His mind. And we know the Scriptures teach us the total opposite. In Numbers 23:19, the prophet Balaam, who tried to change God's purpose, he had to say that God is not a human that He should lie. He's not a descendant of Adam that He should change His mind. Has He declared, and will He not bring it to pass? Has He promised, and will He not make it happen? See, that's the promises of God's Word. And that is the way God is. Now, there's two important statements that were made in that verse. The one referred to what God has declared, and I believe that speaks of prophetic decrees. And it tells us that anything that is declared prophetically, when God's Word is sent forth into the earth, it will come to pass. Now, that doesn't apply to every little prophetic word that you've received. And a lot of young, inexperienced prophets are very quick to prophesy over you and tell you what is going to happen in the future. But that is not a prophetic decree. See, a prophetic decree is made by somebody who holds the authority of the prophetic office. And a decree is not just a prediction, it's sending God's word into the earth to actually make it happen. So when a prophetic decree is sent, God says it will come to pass. And every promise will be carried out. When God makes a promise, He never ever changes His mind. Why then is it that so often we have received promises from the Lord, and yet we're still waiting for them to be fulfilled? You want the answer? I'll tell you why. Because it depends on you. The Apostle Peter tells us in 2 Peter 3 verse 9 that the Lord is not a ditherer where His promise is concerned, in the way that some folks think of dithering. But He's patient with us, not wanting anybody to be lost, but allowing space for everyone to change their minds. You see, God will never change His mind, but you are allowed to change your mind. Now, could it be that the reason those promises were never fulfilled is not because God changed His mind, but because you changed your mind? You didn't want that promise to be fulfilled anymore, so you put it aside. You got stirred up in a new direction, and you let go of what was your heritage. Well, you know what? God is still there, waiting to fulfill those promises. And if you'll get back in line again, if you'll put yourself back in the place where you say, okay, Lord, I'm ready, I'm prepared to follow the course that you chose for me, and I want that promise now to be fulfilled, I believe that you are going to see suddenly, out of the blue, the promise that you'd given up hope will ever be fulfilled is suddenly going to manifest in your life, and you will see the fulfillment of the promise of God.